Hey guys, welcome back. This is ChosenArchitect, and today we're going to be working with refined storage and creating our basic setup. So I hope you guys are ready for this. Alright, so I gathered a bunch of stuff. I have, of course, this process going on over here, gathering soul sand. It's pretty tedious at the start, but it gets us quite a bit of soul sand. This is 9, enough to compress each time I do this. And I just take it all out and I restart the process. Eventually I will automate this and it won't be a big deal. But this is really nice having this well here. I can't say... I wish I would have had that well in my previous season. That would have been a lot. That would have helped a lot. But also this compression drawer, or compacting drawer, that would have helped a lot too. Those are pretty nifty. But we have quite a bit of soul sand, so we're going to go ahead and take this out. It doesn't take very long. I'm just going to compress it. Because the more nether quartz we can get, the better. So I just take it and sieve this. And I get, I think, black quartz for actually additions, and I do get quartz. Pretty sure. This is 64 and 12. Each time I do this, I don't get that much, so I'm going to show you guys what I'm actually doing. So yeah, I don't net very much from that. But once you get 4, you can come over here and create yourself nether quartz crops, which is what I did, and I have 2 of them set up. Also added my iron crops because it requires iron and quartz, nether quartz. Not only is nether quartz used for the quartz enriched iron, it's also used to make silicon, which you have to smelt them, which I just threw it in my alloy smeltery and made a bit of silicon. Also, these will need to be made because we're getting into making processors. So if you smelt down some gold, and I think diamond also is smelted down. We take a look here. Yes, it's smelted down to make the processor. So I have 4 processors now. This is fixing to give me the B5. Yeah. And then I'll smelt down 3 of these. And we'll have that ready to go whenever we get further along. Alright, one of the first things we need to make, though, is a controller to get started with the refined storage, which I'm super excited about. Alright, so we're going to need some quartz enriched iron. And there's a few recipes we can use for this. You can make a crop for quartz enriched iron, which I might do later on because this is going to be really handy. And it does give you, it looks like you put 8 in and you get 8 back. So each one of these quartz enriched iron essence is going to actually give you 1 enriched iron, which is pretty good. If you look over here, or you could just take nether quartz and 3 iron, it'll give you 4 quartz enriched iron. Or you can go ahead and use the essence and craft with the essence, which I found that I don't know if it's exactly the same, but it seemed like I was going to get more out of doing it this way, making it with the actual iron and 1 piece of quartz, than I was this way. Since quartz right now for me, I'm lacking quartz versus lacking iron. I have quite a bit of iron. So I went ahead and did it that way. Or I'm going to do it that way. Go ahead and craft it up, and we're going to need a lot of it, so about as much as we can get right here. And it looks like we have quite a bit. That should move us along. Alright, so we're going to need to make a machine casing. Let's go ahead and make a couple of these, because I know we're going to need one for the crafting grid, we're going to need one for the controller, we're going to need one for the disk drive. I think the disk drive, no, the disk drive doesn't require one, but if you're going to make a storage block, it does require one. Alright, so we're going to have the grid. We're going to make this crafting grid as well, so it requires one. And then we also need the solderer, which we do need to get some cobblestone, because I almost forgot about that. So we're going to need that cobblestone. We're going to need some wood as well in our inventory. And also, those rice slime balls we are going to need, because we need to make sticky pistons. But I may have slime balls just in here somewhere in general. don't know. I know we have a bunch of silicon that we got through our loot bags. But I have to have some slime balls. There they are. Right there. So it doesn't matter what kind of slime balls as long as you have slime balls. Alright, so let's make the controller. Because we have the stuff now. Alright, so the controller is ready. The next thing that we need to create, before we can create anything else, is the solderer. And it's going to require these sticky pistons. So let's go ahead and create 2 of these. Get our sticky piston. Just like this. Oh, we're missing regular iron. Let's go ahead and grab another stack of iron. And this is really simple to create. Alright, so that's done. And then just make them a sticky piston. Alright, and we should be able to craft the solderer. Alright, so we have the 2 starter blocks. Now, for right now, I'm going to go ahead and place it on top of this block. And place the solderer next to it. As you can see in the controller, it's going to use 3 RFs per tick to run the solderer. Now, this is building up. It holds 32,000 RS. Which for 1 RS is also 1 RF. All it's doing is converting RF, redstone, flux to RS. So, the more we add to this machine, the more this controller is going to consume power. Which it kind of has a nice little look to it as well. I like the blue. It's pretty nice. I don't know if the color changes depending on what's being used inside. Because I've not used this mod. It's very similar to Applied Energistics, which I loved Applied Energistics, and this mod I'm going to love even more, because it doesn't have the same system. You can have an infinite amount of blocks connected to one single line, whereas you were locked into networks with the with Applied Energistics. This one, you can just have a bunch of connections all in one area. Alright, so now that we have the solderer, let's take a look at what this crafting grid, because we don't want the grid. I want to automatically start off with a crafting grid, which just requires a table. Now while I'm in the solderer, it's showing me for some reason that it's crafted in the solderer. It may be able to be crafted in the solderer, I don't know. But one thing, it's going to require this crafting grid, which we have to make first, which requires a construction core, which is a base processor with looks like a printed base processor, which is iron. So we're actually going to need to get some iron inside here as well. Let's do a few, and we'll go ahead and get those made. Let's see. So it requires a construction core, which is a base processor, which is made with printed silicon. Printed silicon also is something that's smelted. And this is the same way. So silicon smelted gives you printed silicon. Improved processor. These are all going to be made in that machine. And a destruction core requires a base processor. So we're going to need 2 base processors, glowstone and nether quartz, and then an improved processor. Then the advanced processor we're going to need to create this crafting grid. And then for this, we're going to need 2 advanced processors. So this is going to basically require 3 diamond to get this setup started. And we're going to use the disk drive instead of a core, storage block. The disk drive will hold multiple storage disks, whereas the storage block basically stores 1,000 items per the 1K storage block, 4,000 items for this storage block, and it's like a chest, but it takes up a full block space, whereas we can use 1 block space and keep using storage disks, which are basically the same. They require almost the same thing, just doesn't use as much quartz enriched iron to make these cards, where it only requires 4 to craft this. It requires 8 to craft this block, and then it requires 9 actually, because you have to use it for the storage part. So yeah, while this is done, we can go ahead and move along. Alright, like I said, the crafting grid going to require these basic processors, so let's throw some silicon in there. And that's going to get done. Might as well throw all of it in there because they're going to have to be all converted. And we can go ahead, after we get one, we can go ahead and start making these processors. So as soon as we get it, should pop out 3. Perfect. Now we can get started. Alright, so like I said before, it's going to require printed. Actually, we can auto put it in there. So this is, I'm loving JEI. This is pretty nice. So it's automatically going to throw this in here, and we just have to wait for this process to happen. And it's a pretty slow process. You can honestly make more than one if you wanted to, but you have to do each. I don't know if the items stack. Okay, so they do stack. Okay, so in Applied Energistics, it would not stack inside of the printing press, which is what that mod used. Which the solderer makes a lot more sense. Alright, then we're going to make the destruction core and the construction core, which this is the same thing as the annihilation core, I think, and I don't remember what the other core was called. But the basic printed processor, we're going to get that done, and we should have almost all of these ready to go. I think we can go ahead and get the other one ready. Oh, no, we have to wait for this to finish. Okay, we got the basic processor. I think it requires 2. And I hope you guys don't mind this mod. I really want to get into crafting with you guys. I want you guys to see the crafting process. So if this episode's a little bit drawn out, it's okay. The next episode will be a lot shorter, and every episode from this point on should be a little bit shorter, because I won't have to edit out the crafting, because crafting in this thing is going to be a lot faster. All of our items will be in one place, and it will pull the items out of this inventory, which the inventory that I'm about to create anyways, and we should be ready to go, and it'll be a lot quicker. Alright, so we'll go ahead and make the destruction core. It looks like in a regular crafting grid it's going to be, let's see, nether quartz for this, and then construction core, we need glowstone, so let's grab our glowstone out of here. Didn't realize this was going to take glowstone. I don't think I got that far, but everything else I think I have. Alright, so now our crafting monitor is good to go. We need a crafting table, and we're going to need a diamond printed, let's see, what else was it? An advanced processor. So we'll go ahead and make that. Alright, so I think we have everything. We'll go ahead and grab my processor out of here. And then we need to go ahead and craft this thing. Alright, so we'll craft the basic grid off of our list. Now if we place the grid in, it'll just have a standard inventory grid, but we want the crafting one. So let's go ahead and create the crafting grid. I think it uses a little bit more power than the regular grid, but that's okay. We're going to place this down. All this will be moved eventually, because right now I don't exactly like it right here. Alright, so we have our grid and a crafting slot, just like so. And we have a bunch of these different descriptions right here that we can change, and it'll change the way our grid works. But we can't place items in here at the moment because we don't have any storage. So what we need to make is this disk drive, which requires the 2 more advanced processors, which we'll go ahead and make right now. 2, just like so. And what else do we need? We are going to work on making storage disks. So we're going to need a little bit of glass, some redstone, and it looks like these blank storage works too. Right here we're going to need some silicon, and we're going to need some quartz and some more glass and redstone. So basically we're just going to need some redstone, we're going to need glass, which we have some glass, and also looks like we're going to need this quartz enriched iron, silicon. which we have we have some silicon left. This is base print process, that's the iron. To get the silicon, we just put some nether quartz in here. Get some more silicon. Just like so. Alright, so this is working pretty good. Let's go ahead and start crafting some of those. So this 1K storage, we're going to craft, let's see, only do one at the moment. What are we missing? We're probably missing silicon. But we can go ahead and get one started. And then we should have everything for this. We do. So we have the 1K storage ready to go. These should be done. So now we should be able to make our disk drive. Here's our disk drive, and we have a disk, and we are ready to go. So I'll place the disk drive right next to this block. And inside of our disk drive, we have a few options. We can prioritize this disk drive. But right now, and there's a whole bunch more options on the side. Avoid excess items and fluids. Compare or dictionary, yes or no, which I think will automatically separate items that are the same but have different names. There's different modes, a whole bunch of cool stuff. But in here, we're going to throw our disks. I think we can set this right here will prioritize disk drives. But as you can see right now, we have 0 of 1K. And now we're getting this red. It looks like we're using more power than we currently have because we're out of power right now. So when it's red, I guess it means it's losing power. So what we can do, I take this tiny coal and just throw the tiny coal in there. Now this should change. It looks like it's increasing now, which is what I want. So it's going to go ahead and increase because this should be enough to run this, because right now it's only using 4, 7, 8 RF a tick, and we're making 20 RF a tick with this thing. Alright, so let's hop in here. Let's go ahead and throw our items in. Now you can see these items go in here, and bam. Now we have a few items. Now if we look in here, we're already using 484 of our slots. Not exactly what we want, but we're getting it done. We're getting our crafting ready to go. Go ahead and throw our silicon in here. And I just want the basic crafting so I can craft more these storage disks, because crafting in here is a lot easier. Alright, so we'll take some more our diamonds we'll throw in there. We can throw, it looks like it's, okay, so when it gets below a certain area, it changes colors. Okay. Yeah, we now have a refined storage crafting system, which is awesome, because this is going to make things a lot easier. I just need to have more drives, which means I'm going to need more silicon, which we actually have. Let's see if we can't craft in here. So let's get us another 1K storage drive. Looks like we can craft, and see how we can craft straight from here. And we're running out of silicon. And we have one more 1K storage disk, and now pulls it from our inventory, and it pulls from this inventory. Now we have another 1K. And we can place that 1K in here. We have 2K worth of storage, so it'll store 2,000 items. We take our wood and our logs and our sand, and we can throw that in there. Take our ender pearls, throw that in there, throw some lead in there, throw some iron in there, or some gold. What else can we throw in there? Copper, or lapis. I just want some major items that we use for a lot of crafting in there at the moment, because the problem with this is it's not like applied energistics, where when you have, say, 64 in there, it uses for every, say, it stores 64 different types of items, and then it'll store so much of that item per drive. Well, with this one, it doesn't matter. It's based specifically off of how many actual items there is. So that's something we have to keep an eye on, because it works a little bit different. So if I place all these items in here, going to see it's going to use quite a bit of space, even with these very few items. Already, one of our discs, which is red right here, is full. Now we only have 500 more. See how quickly that filled up. But now we have most of our crafting items right here, ready to go. Awesome. So, that's how you create a simple refined storage setup. Of course, I'm going to be expanding this. Once we start getting into auto crafting, making these storage disks will become a lot easier. And of course, you can have more of these drives. Because unlike Applied Energistics, you can continue adding onto this as much as you want, or make it go up. Connecting blocks, it all works connected like that. As long as the controller has power, you can thus extend to this. Also getting into auto crafting, there's pipes, the cable right here that connects. It all works the same. There's importers and exporters that you can use to automate stuff. It looks like constructor. This places items that you specify, and then the destructor will break items that's in front of this plane. Different readers and writers, detector. There's a whole bunch of cool stuff that's in this mod. Can't wait to explore more of it. I can't wait to get some wireless stuff going on so we can access our network and all that good stuff. So, if you guys enjoyed this episode, please don't forget to click that subscribe button and also give this video a thumbs up. I really appreciate it. We are almost at 100 subscribers. I'm so excited. Can't wait to hit that number. That's going to be a milestone for me. And as always, thanks for watching.
I transform, letting loose my inhibitions. I lose control, lose control.